here we're going to take a look at a bunch of different examples surrounding the idea of being able to calculate a monthly payment amount based on large sum items. Okay, so the biggest example, or the most well-known example, is when we're talking about car loans. So let's say that Jeremy bought a new car for $32,000. He paid 10% down and financed the remaining balance for 36 months with an APR of 4.5%. So with that, we have a couple different questions. So first, we want to know the monthly payment. Then we want to find out what the total cost of the car ends up being and how much interest is being paid over the life of the loan. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and let's start. Well, in order to figure out the monthly payment, we have to be able to identify some important pieces. First of all, we know that the new car is going to be $32,000, and we know that you're putting 10% down. So the first thing you need to figure out is you need to figure out what that down payment actually was. So you're going to take 10%, which as a decimal is 0.10, and we're going to multiply that by the 32,000. And that's going to give you your down payment of $3,200. Now, you're going to finance the remaining balance. So we have to know what is going to be financed. And to do that, you're going to take that $32,000 and subtract away your down payment. So the down payment was $3,200. It means we are going to finance $28,800. Now, as far as the remaining information, it is really important to pay attention. Here we're given 36 months. So when we're looking at your time, you have 36 months. And remember, when using your formulas, you need to convert that into years. So 36 months is the same as 3 years. And then we have an APR, which is your rate of 0.045, so 4.5%. So with that, we can start working into our formula. Okay. So the formula we have is we are going to use your payment. So we are using, it's called payment is equal to your P times R over N divided by 1 minus 1 plus R over N to the negative NT. Okay, so that is the formula that we are going to work with. And so what we have to do is we have to plug in the information we've been given. So payment is what we're looking for. We have the P. So here we would have, let me go ahead and, so we're going to have your payment is, the P is the amount financed. So this is $28,800. We're going to multiply that by your rate, which was 0.045, divided by N, well, it's 12 for monthly payments. And then we're going to go ahead and divide this by 1 minus 1 plus 0.045 over 12. And we're going to raise that to the negative 12 times 3. Now, the biggest trick with problems like these is being able to know how to work your scientific calculator in order to actually solve them and get the answer that you wanted. So here, I'm going to show you on my calculator. So this is that TI-36X Pro. Okay, so it might be slightly different than the one you have, but the concept should be the same. All right. So the first thing that you want to do when working with a scientific calculator like this is you always want to work from the absolute inside out. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to work around this denominator here for a minute. We're going to start inside the parentheses, and the first thing we're going to do is our division. 0.045 divided by 12, and then hit enter. Now the key is, after everything we do, we're going to hit enter because this is going to store that answer in your calculator. So now if I just simply come into here and the next thing I want to do is add 1, all I have to do is go plus 1. So here ANS stands for the previous answer, which in this case was the 0.00375. So we're going to add 1 to that and hit enter. Now I have a new answer being stored. Okay, so that's why doing this step by step, hitting enter each time and then making sure that you use that previous answer is really going to help you achieve the correct value in the end. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to raise this to a power. Okay, so on my calculator, my power is this button here, X to the box. Depending on the calculator you have, you can either have X to the box, so that's one way that you may see it. You can also see Y to the X, or you can see the caret button. So any of those types of buttons are going to lead you to the exact same thing. Okay, so for mine, I've got this X to the box, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Notice it says answer raised to, and because I've got this multiplication here, I'm going to open a parenthesis. I'm going to do minus 12 times 3, close that parenthesis and hit enter. And now I have to do 1 minus what we just calculated here. So I'm going to go 1 minus, and then on top of my negative sign says the word answer. So I'm going to hit second answers. Notice it says ANS and hit enter. Now that's my denominator. Okay. Now the way that I'm going to finish out the problem is I have to now run my numerator and still use and save that denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a parenthesis. I'm going to do 800. I'm going to multiply that and open another parenthesis, and I have 0.045 divided by 12. Close it twice, and then I'm going to divide it by second answer and hit enter. And in this case, we end up with a payment that is $856.71. Now you always want to make sure that you round to the nearest cent. So we did just that. So 71 cents is our cents, and that would be your monthly payment. Now we have to also figure out the total cost of the car. So the total cost of the car is going to be your monthly payment times the number of months plus your down payment. Okay, and so that is actually going to give you the total cost of your car. So in our case, my monthly payment we just calculated was $856.71. We are going to multiply this by the 36 months that we made our payment. And then we are going to add my down payment of $3,200. Okay. So when you do that, you come out with a total cost of being $34,041.56. Now, to find the total interest that you pay, you're simply going to take the total cost and subtract away the price of the car. So in this case, the total cost was going to be $34,041.56, and the price of the car was $32,000. So that means that you have paid a total of $2,041.56 in interest. So there is your first example of being able to calculate a monthly payment for a vehicle. Okay. Now, another type of question that you might come across is a question where you have to choose the method or the savings method that works the best. Okay, so here we have that Alex gets a chance to choose from one of the new car incentives when he purchases his car next week. He can either choose a 0.9% APR financing for 48 months or $1,000 cash back with a 4.75 APR over 48 months. You need to compare the two incentives that Alex has to choose from if he wishes to buy a car that is $32,457 and he has saved a down payment of $3,500. So we have two options. Okay, so first let's look at option 1 or option A. So option A, we're going to say, is the 0.9% APR for 48 months. So let's go ahead and work with calculating that. So first and foremost, we need to figure out how much is financed. So here, to figure out your financed, we're going to take the $32,457 and subtract away the $3,500 that was saved up. And when we do that, we come out with financing $28,957. Now that we know that, we can calculate our payment. Okay, so we have 48 months. So in this case, my T is going to be 4 years. My rate is going to be 0.009 because you divide by 100. Okay, and so here we can go ahead and find that payment. So my payment here is found the same way we did before. So the $28,957 times my rate, 0.009, divided by 12. And then on the bottom, again, it's going to be 1 minus 1 plus 0.009 divided by 12, raised to the negative 12 times 4. Okay. So one more time, let's go ahead and walk through plugging that into your calculator so that we can get our payment. Again, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way out. So we have 0.009 divided by 12 and hit enter. Now we're going to add 1, hit enter. We're going to take that to the negative 12 times 4, close it, and hit enter. Then we're going to do 1 minus that answer. Last thing we're going to do, open that parentheses. We have 28,957 times, another parentheses, 0.009 divided by 12, close it twice, and divide by second answer. So here we come out with our payment being $614.42. So that's the monthly payment that we would be making on the first vehicle. Okay. Now with that, all we need to do is find this monthly payment, because if the second option has a monthly payment that is less than $614, then we're going to know which option to choose. So essentially, you want to pick the option that is going to give you the smallest monthly payment, because overall that is going to give you the smallest overall cost of your vehicle. Okay. So let's take a look here at option 2. So option B is going to be $1,000 back with 4.75% for 48 months. We still have the $3,500 down payment. So in this case, we need to again find your financed. So here we're going to take that $32,457. We're going to subtract away the $3,500 for the down payment, and this time we're also going to subtract away that $1,000 for your cash back. This makes a total financed of $27,957. So now we can go ahead and calculate our payment. In this case, my T is still going to be 4 years, and my rate is going to be 0.0475. Now, it is really important when you're working with your rates that you do not round this number. You leave it as the decimal as is. So here we're going to do the same thing we just did above. We're going to set up our payment to calculate what that monthly payment would be. So here my payment is going to be the $27,957 times 0.0475 divided by 12. And then again we move to the denominator, 1 minus 1 plus 0.0475 divided by 12 raised to the negative 12 times 4. So we would run this through the calculator in the same way that we just did for the one above, making sure you go step by step, starting with the innermost one and work your way out. And here you should come up with $640.67. So I showed you how to run it through your calculator on this first one. Run it through your calculator yourself on the second one. Double check and make sure you come out with the same value that I got. That will help verify for yourself that you have figured out how to work your calculator in the best way possible. Now, all we have to do is compare these two. So notice my option B, I have a monthly payment of $640, whereas option A has a monthly payment of $614. And so what that actually means is if I was purchasing the car, my choice would be to go here with option A. Now, in reality, a lot of people get sucked into the $1,000 cash back option, but as long as you calculate for yourself, you'll always make the best choice. Okay? So, there you go, choosing between two options. Alright, I want to show you an example here that switches gears slightly. It still uses the exact same method in order to calculate your payment. However, it is a slightly different concept. So here, this one is talking about a large-scale loan problem. So the City of Denver recently completed a new school building. The entire cost of the project was $19 million. The city has put the project on a 20-year loan with an APR of 2.4%. There are 15,000 families that will be responsible for paying for that loan. The first thing you need to do is you have to determine what the monthly payment for that loan is going to be. So we're going to do it the exact same way that we just did it with the cars. Okay? So first of all, we know that your rate is going to be 0.024. We know that our year is going to be 20 years. Okay, so here we can put everything together. So my payment is going to be found by taking my loan, so the $19 million loan, times 0.024 divided by 12, all over 1 minus 1 plus 0.024 divided by 12 raised to the negative 12 times 20. So again, you're going to calculate this in the exact same way with your calculator as you calculated your car payments. And in this case, you're going to come out with $99,758.50. Now the second part wants to determine what each family is required to pay over each year to cover the cost. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your payment and you're going to divide it by the number of families. So in this case, we have that the monthly payment is $99,758.50, and we have 15,000 families. So when we calculate that out, what we actually get is we get $6.65, but we need to remember this is per month. The problem wants to know per year. So to figure out the cost per year, we're going to take that $6.65 and we are going to multiply it by 12 months. And so what we end up getting is we end up getting that it's going to cost each family $79.81 per year to pay for the new school. Now the last thing you need to do is we have to determine the overall cost of the actual school. So we're going to do that the same way that we determine the overall cost of a car. So we're going to take the yearly payment. So we have $79.81. We're going to multiply that by 15,000 families over the course of 20 years. When we do that, we come out with a cost of being $23,942,040.32. Alright, so there's a couple things that you want or should consider when you're buying a car, and this example problem is going to incorporate all of that. First thing that you want to consider is not only the monthly payment, but you also want to consider your insurance, your fuel, car repairs, and general maintenance. Okay, so in this problem we are going to go ahead and look at all of those. So Jeremy has just purchased a car and he wants to be sure that he has enough room in his budget for the money or for the many car-related expenses that may occur. The monthly payment for his loan is $408.64. So here we know that your payment is going to be $408.64. The cost of car insurance for 6 months is $775.12. So we have insurance for 6 months is going to be $775.12. His estimate for gasoline each month is $135. So here we have gas is going to be $135. And then he wants to set aside $750 a year for repairs. So here we have repairs, which is $750. How much should Jeremy budget per month for the car expenses? Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we have to figure out how to put all of this together. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put together a little equation. To figure out how much we need to budget, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take your monthly payment. We are then going to add in your insurance. We are then going to add your gas. And we're then going to give repairs. Okay. Now, the biggest thing that you want to pay attention to is this insurance piece. And the reason for that is because this cost is for 6 months, whereas everything else that we have listed here is essentially per month, with the exception, of repairs, which repairs is given to you in years. Okay, so there's a couple things that we have to do is we need to make sure that we convert. So these two pieces here, we want to convert into monthly. So we can start fitting things into our formula here. First of all, we have $408.64 for your monthly payment. For your insurance, we're going to take that $7.75 and 12 cents, and we have to divide it by 6. We then have to add the gas, which is $135 a month, and then we have to do repairs. So this is going to be $750 divided by your 12 months. Okay. Now that's going to give you how much you should budget per month. So when you do all of that, you end up with $735.33, and this is per month. Okay. And so there you go. That, in a nutshell, or a very lengthy little video, is everything that you would need to know or consider when thinking about or working with trying to calculate monthly payments of big ticket items. Big ticket items like buying a car or paying for a big ticket loan. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.